Hey friends, welcome back. Today is Friday and we're doing another trade recap here, and I hope you guys had an excellent Friday because mine was not that great. I'm going to share with you what I traded today and show you where I really screwed up. I was doing quite well and I just I screwed it up once again, and so I'm going to have to make some new rules going into next week. We'll talk about those and talk about kind of where my mindset was at on some of these trades. But let's go ahead and dive into it. First off, I'll show you what stocks I traded today. All right, we traded XTNT, SRTS, and AUVI, as well as OCGN. Now, I had a great run. To be honest, I never went negative today, which is always great. But we'll dive into some of the details on the trades in just a second, but I want to show you my progress throughout the day here. And take a look at this. So started off, and I did not trade a whole bunch today because I was really cautious about the market. It looks like we still had kind of a bit of a down days. Overall market seemed like it stabilized a little bit. And it just didn't look like there was going to be much on the radar today as far as small cap trades. But we did get a few that did pop up. XTNT was the one that was really in watch and was really going pretty crazy. And I still screwed it up. So anyways, look at this. Here's my progress. 59, 79, 145, 211, 300, 498. I got up to 700, and I was feeling pretty good at that point. All green trades, feeling solid, and it was one bad trade that took me all the way down to $18. So basically up from 700 bucks down to break even. And I looked at myself, I was just like, well, I didn't look at myself, but I thought to myself, I was just like, you did it again, Joey. You screwed it up. You had awesome progress and you wiped it out in one bad trade. It seems like I've had a lot of this progress, so we'll talk about rules in a minute, new rules in a minute. But it seems like I get a lot of this progress where I get boom, 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 these awesome steps forward, these great green, good profits just going and going and going. You know, solid trades. And then I have one trade that just wipes me out, and it's crazy because, you know, take all these steps of progress and it just takes one to wipe you out. And let's go ahead and dive into this one particular trade where I kind of screwed myself over. So let's see. XTNT. Okay, so I was watching this very cautiously initially, and I was thinking to myself, let's not get into this crazy cycle of chasing things, right? And we'll make some solid trades, and I'll leave it there, and I won't go into a lot of these risky spots. So I thought. And with this one, I had a bunch of different trades on it. But the one in particular that I was really waiting on, I was up $700 at this point, okay? And we got up until this point right in here. I'm sitting up 700, I'm thinking, okay. This thing obviously had resistance here as it, you know, it did its double top at 650. And then I was watching the rest of it, and I decided to hold off on trading this area because with that resistance, you know, right there at six bucks, it hit it twice, and I thought to myself, that's a bad zone. Like, I might go in for a little trade, a tiny little trade, possibly into the curl up But I know 6 is gonna be a heavy spot. If we get to that or even close to that, I'm still gonna like hold off, because it's gonna have to prove to me what I told myself is I need for it to break 6 to move past this 6 mark. Then I would try to go in on a possible real quick dip, micro pullback, and then wait for that next push higher for this area of 650, hopefully breaking that. You know, if it's really got momentum and it breaks this 6, then I'm just gonna wait for it to push past 6 and then just try to grab a quick dip if possible and ride it to the next leg higher of 650 or beyond. And so I'm watching it, and I see it curl up a little bit. I'm saying, nope, don't even bother with it, because 6 is that spot. And look, we hit this one candle that went up to 589 and it just dropped back down. I'm like, thank God I didn't get into that, right? And then right after that, what do we get? We get this rip, these 2 candles, okay? And the second one just rips past 6. So I'm thinking, here's my opportunity. Grab in at a quick dip here if I can. And so I hopped in, and what did I get in at? Let me see if I can find it. XTNT. Yeah, it looks like it was 614. So I got in, and I guess it wasn't a big enough dip, but either way on this one, I was really thinking, hey, we broke that 6 spot. Now it's time. You know, it's good chances ripping up to 650 and beyond. And I misread it. Absolutely. I hopped in here at my 1,000 share size in at 614. Pretty much the high of that candle. I mean, pretty close to it. And right from there, we get this fucking stupid rip down from 614 all the way down to 536. Oh, that I got faked out. I totally went for the bait here, and you know, I kept telling myself, like, do not get into this unless it breaks 6, and so I guess it was a little bit of FOMO. I mean, I was sticking to my rule set of don't get in it unless it really breaks that. And in hindsight, maybe I should have got in, you know, way earlier, but I don't know. I felt like it was hard to read, and this was a big fake out, and it was very volatile all day, and you know, which is why I was able to get a lot of good gains on it going up. But it's that one in particular, the one I went red on, that just ate me alive, and it flushed so fast. And here's the thing here, is that as it's going down, I always want to try to sell on the ask to try to get my money's worth. But in these scenarios, they go so fast, so hard to the downside that a lot of times you won't even get filled if you try to hop in with an ask order. And so, you know, I knew from the strength of this red candle going down, I just would have to make a market order out of it and bail out. And so I got out at 544, right in here, pretty much the low of that candle. And it did continue on further, so I'm glad I sold, but it took me from being up 700 down to pretty much 0. And, you know, hated myself for that. So I want to know from you guys if you got trapped in this one as well. If you got caught up in the FOMO on XTNT, because, man, it moved hard today. I mean, it went up, I don't know what it was, almost maybe 200%, maybe more. with the 650 being the high here. And I really thought, I guess it did have its second try and it failed. So maybe I should have read into that a little bit more, thinking that, I don't know. But I knew, there's some strength in this thing. If it goes like that, if it breaks that 650, it's to the moon. And I want to be there for that ride. And yeah, it didn't go well for me. So please let me know if you got caught in any of these positions. Either I bet there's a lot of people who hopped in here and, close to 650 on the second run who, got burnt on this and had to sell for a huge loss. I mean, that's a massive candle. Now, granted, you know what? I did have to make a run an errand today, and I was out of the office here, and I didn't get to see this whole move up for this second run, but I saw it, when I came back, obviously, after, and I should have just been more cautious about it, because, man, that candle, if you look at that one's even worse. 650 all the way down to 538, so nasty thing. I mean, if you got on the right side of this thing, you could make some great money. If you're on the wrong side of it, you lost a lot, just like I did. So please let me know if you got caught up in either A, that second run, or B, the third push here going down. I felt like it was another tricky fake out, and I took the bait on that, so it was my bad. And what I'm thinking about doing as far as new rules, you've got to, from time to time make rules for yourself if you fall into traps and you're just not trading well. Rules have definitely helped me out. You've got to put a cap on your losses sometimes, and I've definitely had to put in some new rules this month, a whole lot actually. And so I'm thinking, going into this next month, I'm really excited about this next month because let's take a look at the numbers here. January, I was up 11K. February, I absolutely destroyed it with one massive day. And went down 12K. So I'm excited about the next month because I feel like having gone through this chaos, this craziness of literally making 12K in the first month, which is amazing, down to losing 23K in the second week. Man, just ate me alive. And so I've got to consider all this, really take a look at what happened here, because January was awesome. One red day. Now, granted, we did have the market, it slowed down and it went through some crazy volatility this month. I felt like January was a lot smoother. So there's that as far as the market goes, which you can't control. But going into March, I really need to be focused on avoiding these huge red days. So let me just take out this one red day in particular here on the 10th. If I wipe that out, if I wipe that one day out, I'm up 11K on the month. That is disgusting. Like, I've done such great work. And this is, guys, I want to let you know, this is a big game changer for me. Like, the starting of this year, I started with a new margin account back in December, and I was doing really well, and once again, if I 11K last month, and had I just not traded or minimized my risk on that one day on the 10th in February, I'd be close to 11K up on that. So, I could have been up 22K, and it just it pains me. And that's part of trading. You got to really learn your lessons, and you've got to experience the losses to understand risk. I don't think it's easy to just paper trade for the longest time and Um, trading real money does give you that experience and that hard loss of losing money. And I'm not advising that you just hop in if you're a beginner, trading with real money. You should definitely try to paper trade if you can to get some experience. But once you step into the real world with real money, it changes the game, I think. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. Pretty much a zero for the, considering both months, actually down a little bit. But, if I can make progress like I did in January, and, I had some pretty good progress in February too, except for this massive day on the 10th, then I think I could be looking real good if I stick with those green days, minimize those red days, and it's tough. So anyways, going back to the new rules, what I'm thinking about doing is if I work myself up, let's take a look at this. I think one of the ones that I need to write down, and I'll probably do that here, is that if I work myself up to a good chunk of change, I have to determine my limits here. Like this, perfect example, if I've worked hard enough to have these great, excellent green strides all the way up to a certain amount, let's call it maybe $1,000 or I don't know, 500 if I get, above 500, then what I need to do is reduce my share size by half. So typically I've been trading with about 5K. So that's around, I usually use my $1,000 or my 1,000 share size button. And so what I'm thinking about doing is as I progress here and I get up to a good amount, let's call it 500 maybe, or 1,000, I don't know yet, that once I get to that position, I need to, for the rest of the day, which is going to be hard to do, cut my share size in half so that if I get a big nasty red trade, like I showed you guys, if I get another big fake out like this somewhere, I won't lose as much. And of course, I won't gain as much either if I'm halving my share size, but if I've built a nice position on the day, then I need to keep those gains, and I need to slow down the share size. It's hard to do sometimes, especially when you feel like the market is either heating up or there's a particular stock that's running. You want to be able to maximize your potential on that, but what's been burning me, I guess, is working up to these good chunks of change, and then 1, 2, or 3 bad trades cuts all that and cuts it all out, back to zero. So it's pointless for me to make this excellent progression only to go right back to zero. So that's what I think I'm going to do is cut my share size in half. So that's the plan for me. I do want to hear from you guys. I want to find out how you did this month. Please let me know as we close out this month here in February. Let me know how you did, and I want to hear from you guys to find out what rules are you going to implement for next month. What have you been doing that's really bad? Have you been just holding positions too long and maybe averaging down? Are you taking too big share size? What are you doing wrong? And then what are you going to implement for a new rule going into next month to help you trade better? So I hope sharing this with you guys, it really helps you see my struggles, because chances are you might be facing something similar, and I hope it helps in the sense of talking through new rules and different things that I need to analyze, and even my mindset as well, because that's a big one too. It's a tough game. It's a really tough game out there, and I'm wishing everyone the best, and got to protect the capital. So let's do that, and let's have an awesome March, and let's just kill it, and let's watch our risk as well. So that's it for now. We'll see you next month. I'm pretty excited about it, so we'll see you then, and catch you on the next one.